Make sure you guys get your 5 stocks from Moomoo, link down below. All you have to do is deposit at least $100 and you could get up to 5 stocks, each of which could be valued up to $3,500. It's free money, guys. Get your money, link down below. And now let's break down the market, some stocks, earnings, and my thoughts on everything, plus what I'm looking to do in these markets. So sit back, relax, and let's get right into the video. So the markets closed about an hour ago, and the funny thing is, if you guys were looking at the futures last night, which the futures, they were down between 2.5%, 3%, you would have thought today was going to be a freaking bloodbath, right? You would have thought the market was going to drop, the bottom was going to fall out, and that's the funny thing, right? The futures market flip-flops a lot, and you guys can see here, SPY ended up only going down 0.25%. We had the Dow down 0.5%, and we had the NASDAQ and the Russell, believe it or not, both of these went up 0.3%. So we had a big push pre-market, a huge pop in the middle of the day, followed by a bit of a pullback, and then we ended up ripping into the market close, which we will talk about here in a minute. We also had the VIX, even though we had a pretty decent day in the markets, the VIX did go up about 9%. It closed over 30 points, and we had gold and silver do pretty well. Silver went up 2%, gold went up about 1.2%. So there is fear out there. There is volatility, but again, the markets had a pretty good day. A lot of these individual stocks, some of which I own, a lot of which I don't own, some of these individual stocks, they did very well, and we will talk about them in this video. But first, again, let's take a look at SPY Triple Q and what the price action is looking like right now. So we all know Thursday, Friday, we had two massive green days, and we covered in my previous video how this could potentially be a double top forming on SPY. You guys can see it here on the 5-day chart, and you all could see it on the 20-day chart, this little double top action with resistance being at about 438 to about 440. You can see that's where we failed on Friday, and today we failed breaking above 438. So it is nice that we rallied throughout the day, but SPY's got to break out of 440, break out of this double top for me to be convinced that this rally that we've seen the past 3 days, that this rally is going to continue. So that's why I have one alert set at $440 a share. If that breaks 445, 450, that could be right around the corner when it comes down to SPY. So take a look at that. Keep your eyes on the double top again at about 438. And the big difference here is Triple Q. We took the highs out from Friday and we actually hit over 300, almost rather 350 bucks per share. If you guys take a look here on the 5-day chart, Thursday we had a big move. Friday we had a big move, and today we hit 348.50, and the high from Friday was right around 346. And like SPY, you guys can see here on the intraday chart, Triple Q ended up rallying into close, which is a very good sign of strength. You guys can see this went from 348.50 in the middle of the day. That's the high of the day. It was the high of the day. It went down to about 341, so it shed about almost 2% of value, roughly 2%, and then it regained about 1.6% heading into close. That's a very good sign, again, of strength, and the fact that we're seeing a volume kick up, and again, that push into close, that's very good for the bulls. Same thing with SPY. You guys see the big volume push, which happens a lot at the end of the day, and we saw SPY go from 430 to about 436, rallying 1.3%. So for tomorrow, again, SPY, watch out for 440 to break, and when it comes to Triple Q, the main level I'm watching is 350 to 355. If that point starts to break, we get out of this 180 moving average resistance on the 4-hour chart, that is where a real reversal could start to occur on Triple Q. So watch out for that when it comes to the main indexes here, or at least the ETFs that track the main indexes, being Triple Q and SPY. And of course, like I said, keep your eyes on volatility as always. VIX over 30, that's pretty scary. I'm not going to lie. That means we're at very high volatility. So we're going to be seeing if this wants to go back to 35. That's kind of what I'm watching in terms of the VIX, or are we going to see a huge dump on the VIX, 20, 25? That means obviously volatility will die down. Markets will be pushing higher from there most likely. So what do you guys think? Drop me a comment down below. Make sure to smash that like button if you guys are finding value in this video, as always, and subscribe. It really helps me out in the YouTube algorithm if you do those things, and I appreciate all of you out there watching as always. And now let's go over some earnings reports. We have about, I think, five or six earnings reports to talk about today. And the way I do this, guys, you guys know when there's earnings, right? Earnings season, which is now still upon us, I like, for the most part, not looking at the earnings before making these videos so we can get a live reaction and we can see how it's looking like in pretty much real time, because now it's 5:07 p.m. Markets obviously closed, but we are seeing a lot of price action after market hours with the stocks, or at least I'm assuming, because again, I didn't look at the stocks after they reported. So let's see. Number one is Lucid Group, which makes the electric cars, which I don't even think they're selling these cars yet, but they reported today, and the stock went up 10% on the day. So there was a lot of hype in general with electric vehicle stocks today. We saw Tesla up a lot. We saw NIO up a lot. Lucid up a lot. We saw, Enphase. I'm sure ChargePoint ended up ripping, which I didn't look at it till now. Yeah, ChargePoint up 6%. Blink, which is another one we're going to talk about later in this video. So let's go back to Lucid and see exactly what they ended up doing. By the looks of it, it is down, oh my goodness, it is down $4 after market. It is down 14%. So let's see on the live news tab what is going on here exactly. So they did sales of $26.4 million. So I guess they are selling. I guess they are selling, but obviously not at mass scale yet. $26.4 million versus $36.74 million. And guys, if I do make a mistake on Lucid, the truth is I haven't done too much due diligence on it. I haven't done, a deep dive on it. So if I misspeak, please feel free to correct me in the comments. But it seems like they missed on sales by a wide margin. They missed by about $10 million. Here we see customer reservations now exceed 25,000 units, vehicles, whatever you want to call it. So I guess maybe they haven't sold a bunch of these yet. I've seen some people have them. I think Meet Kevin has one. He got one. Either way, guys, again, I'm not an expert on Lucid, how many they're selling, reservations, this, that, the third, so feel free to drop me a comment and enlighten me. Please, guys, enlighten me. And they updated 2022 production outlook for Lucid Air to a range of 12 to 14,000 vehicles. I guess that's not too good considering the stock is down, and you guys can see here, worse than expected Q4 sales, which makes sense. They missed the estimate, and they cut full year 22 production guidance. So that is a bummer for this stock, guys, which if you all look on the yearly chart, this was one of those that got very hot, very hypey. If you guys take a look on the 3-year chart, it went from $10 to $65 about a year ago. Then it tanked all the way back down to $18. Then it had another run recently about a couple months ago, ran up to $60 again. Now it's down to 30, $28, $30. It's actually down to $25 after market hours. So what I'm going to be looking for on Lucid is if it wants to hold this trend right here, which as of now, even though it's dumping after hours, it is still holding this trend on the 3-year chart. So maybe buyers step in on this thing right around $20, $25, and it's very difficult to say where fair value is on Lucid. It's very hard to value stocks like Lucid, which you don't really know, the cars, the production, revenue numbers. It's not consistent, so you can't really do a model to be like, oh, okay, in 5 years, 10 years, this is what they're going to be doing, pull back the numbers to figure out what the stock price is today. You can't really do that with Lucid, so I have no idea what the fair value is for this company and where it's going to find support. Is it going to be 15, 20? I mean, we're going to have to wait and see. But overall, on a technical basis, again, on this 3-year chart. Watch out for this trend that I just drew. Point blank period. That is what I'm doing. So not the best report for Lucid Group here. Let's see Zoom. Get ready, guys. I'm actually scared to look at this. Are you ready? Let's do this together. ZM Zoom. Let's see what they're doing. Wow, Zoom went up 5.8% on the day, but that's after going down about 70% in the past couple of months. Awesome, right? Zoom went up on the day, but it's still down 70% over these past couple of months. So let's see what they did in terms of earnings. We had an initial, it looks like this thing tanked initially down to about 112, which is not good. I mean, it dropped about 16%. And now it's back to pretty much break even, hovering at about 130, 131, 132. So let's see what they reported. It looks like they did adjusted EPS of $1.29 versus $1.05 estimated. So that beat. Sales also barely beat, $1.07 billion versus $1.05 billion. So nice double beat for Zoom. And let's see here. They see adjusted Q1 EPS of 86 to 88 cents versus $1.05. Oh my gosh. That's way under the estimate for Q1 adjusted EPS. And we have sales looking to be around 1.07 to 1.08 versus 1.1 billion estimated. So not too good for Q1 guidance whatsoever. I mean, that's terrible, to be honest. Even though Q4 adjusted EPS and revenue, both of those beat. So we had a double beat, but guidance is looking like crap. And let's see here. Full year adjusted for full year 23, they're looking at $3.45 EPS roughly versus $4.40 estimated. That's awful. Sales of 4.53 to about 4.55 billion versus 4.71 billion estimated. So by the looks of it, like expected, these numbers from Zoom are softening like crazy as the world's opening back up, as people are going out and about. They're not using Zoom as much. Mind-blowing, right? It doesn't take a freaking rocket scientist to be able to tell you that, right, guys? So these numbers are not the best. And in fact, they're pretty crappy, even though they did well in the past quarter, against the estimates. So at this point, the question is, the $1 million question is this already priced into Zoom stock? Was it already priced in? It might have already been priced in, which is why the stock is not doing much right now. It's at break even. I mean, again, guys, it's down 70% over the past couple of months. That is the stock market looking forward and being like, okay, we're pricing in the future here, which the future, we're expecting growth to slow down. People are going to go out and about. They're not going to be cooped up inside all day on Zoom. So it makes sense. And as we always talk about, stocks, the markets, they are forward-looking vehicles, right? They don't just price in what happened yesterday and the past year. They price in what's to come, what's expected, over the next year, 2, 5, 10 years. A lot of stocks, they only price in a year, 2 years out. Some price in 10. Tesla's one that's pricing in a lot, right? Which we're not going to get into that rabbit hole in this video. And that's just my opinion, of course. I mean, there's no fact on, what's the real valuation of Tesla. Everybody has a different valuation of it. That's the beauty of investing, right? But overall, I think a lot of this is priced in. The stock's pretty much not doing much, and we'll see after the earnings call if we get any downside, more downside on Zoom. That's ticker symbol ZM. Let me know your thoughts on that down below in the comments. Now, let's talk about Novavax. NVAX is the ticker. They reported earnings after market hours today as well. Let's see what they did. Wow, they lost about $11 per share in the quarter. That is insane. And that is down from a loss of $2.70 a year ago. So they lost $2.70 a year ago. Now they just lost $11, which is just unreal. And they see here, actually, before we talk about guidance, let's take a look at the sales. They did about $220 million in sales, and the Q4 loss was about $840 million. Jeez, guys, imagine doing $200 million in sales and losing almost $850 million. That is just, I don't want to say discouraging, but just looking at that number, it makes me not even want to look at the stock, and I'm not even looking at it from a long-term perspective anyway. I'm just looking at it potentially from a trading perspective. But overall, that is not a good quarter, and let's see guidance here. They see full year 22 sales of about 4 to 5 billion. Quite a wide range there, guys. Quite a wide range. That's a tongue twister too. 4 to 5 billion versus 4.7 billion estimated. So not the best quarter whatsoever for Novavax. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to be able to tell you that. And today the stock went up 2%. Overall, it's in a massive downtrend as a lot of these vax, whatever you want to call them, stocks, they're down a lot. They're down a lot. This one's down. Moderna's down. What are the other ones? Pfizer might be the one that's not down because it does a lot of other crap too. Pfizer's down too. I mean, look, Pfizer's down about 25%. So these stocks are getting destroyed. And quite honestly, if we're being real right now, they're probably going to be going down even more unless we get a huge spike in cases again, more people taking the shot, whatever. Unless we get that, these stocks are not going to be doing well in the short term, in my opinion. And I don't want to see a spike in cases. So I hope these stocks keep going down, to be quite honest with you guys. So that's Novavax. BLNK is another one. This is Blink Charging, which today alone went up 3%. We talked about ChargePoint earlier in this video. That went up about 5-6% on the day. So let's see what Blink Charging did. Ticker symbol BLNK. Maybe it looks like they didn't even report earnings yet. Did they push their earnings back? Those freaking I can't curse on YouTube, guys. BLNK. It looks like maybe they didn't. It looks like it says here 2:28, which is today, 3:30 p.m. Central Standard, which already passed. So it looks like they're slacking on us, guys. What the heck is going on, BLNK? And this is a reason why maybe I should look at these companies before making the video, but screw it. This is raw off the top of the dome, guys, and we're going with it. We're going with it. So Blink Charging, they didn't report, but when they do, maybe if they do later today, tomorrow morning, we will cover it in an upcoming video. So let's go to the next one here, which is HPQ, HP Incorporation. This one reported, let's see what they ended up doing. They did about $1.10, well, exactly $1.10 EPS versus $1.02 estimated. That beat, and we got sales of $17 billion versus $16.52 billion estimated. So nice double beat for HP in Q1, and they see adjusted Q2 EPS of $1.02 to $1.08 versus $1.02. So that's a little bit higher than the estimate on the upper end of that range. And they see, let's see, sales. Do we have any sales guidance? Let's see here. It says adjusted EPS for full year 418 to 438 versus 417. Let's see here. Revenue guidance. I'm not really seeing anything on revenue guidance, but overall, this stock seems to be unchanged. It closed at about $34.30, and now in the aftermarket hours, it is sitting at about $34. It saw an initial pop to $35.50, but now it's down about $1.50 from that point, down about 4% from top to bottom here in the aftermarket hours. So let's see on the 4-hour what I'm personally seeing. A head and shoulders on this one, guys. Not looking that good. We have the left shoulder right here. We got the head right here. If this wants to work, there we go. And then we got the right shoulder right here. You guys can see it clear as day. And on top of that, we have a death cross, the 50s crossing under the 180 SMA, which is never a good sign. And it looks like we took the lows out from about a month ago. The lows were $34. Now we just got to about $32.50 to $33. So maybe this does see a bit more downside in the short term before getting some sort of relief rally, because again, the death cross and the head and shoulders seem very, very, it seems prominent at this point in time. So that's HPQ. Occidental Petroleum, guys, today went up 12, almost 13%. What a day for Occidental Petroleum. This thing hit a high on the 4-hour chart. We hit almost $44 a share, and they reported, I believe, a couple of days ago. I'm not sure if we covered it here on the channel. I might have forgot to cover it. There's a lot of stocks out there, guys, so we're bound to forget a couple, right? So it looks like they did Q4 adjusted EPS of, actually not adjusted, just unadjusted EPS of $1.37 versus $1.11 estimated, and I guess adjusted was $1.48, which is even a bigger beat from the estimate. And they did sales of around $7.9 billion versus 7.3. So it looks like a clear-cut double beat for Occidental Petroleum. And they raised their dividend to 13 cents. There you go. Oh, wow. Look at that raise. The dividend before was a whopping penny. Literally 1 cent, guys, was the dividend. So they raised it 13 times to 13 cents, which is fantastic. And I'm not too sure if this is going to be a short-term thing because energy companies are crushing it right now. Oil's up a ton. So I'm not sure. I mean, honestly, it might just be a short-term thing now that oil is ripping in terms of this dividend spike. So if we do get oil, maybe, in a couple months, a year, maybe inflation dies down, we get oil down to, let's say, 60, 50, 70 a barrel again. I wouldn't be surprised if Oxy were to cut their dividend at that point. But the fact is, now in real time, they're paying 13 cents. So that's what we have to go off of. Pretty nice raise there by Occidental Petroleum. And again, we just hit a high on this 4-hour chart. And one thing worth mentioning is, guys, it is a little bit overbought here, so make sure to be mindful of that. The trend is obviously bullish. There's a lot of momentum, but again, it's overbought. So wait until we see a pullback. At least that's what I'm doing. A little tiny pullback. And I'm going to be looking to enter on that pullback. So that's Occidental Petroleum. Another one here, the last one for this video. Make sure you guys run that like button up if you are finding value in this video. The last one is Eog Resources. This one up over 7% on the day, confirming the bounce right around $100, $105 a share, right by this 180 moving average on the 4-hour chart. That's a great sign that the trend's continuing. Momentum is on the bull side. And on top of that, we've seen a huge spike in volume since their last earnings report, which they just reported, and they missed on EPS, $3.09 versus $3.19, but they beat sales 6.04 versus 5.88 billion. So nice beat on sales, but again, they missed Q4 EPS, which, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's clear that the stock doesn't give a crap. And on top of that, it looks like we got a price target increase by MKM Partners and a buy rating. So that's probably moving the stock as well. So at this point, I think we're going to take the highs out, 117.50 being the highs. And at that point, we might see a blow-off top rally, 120, 125. That's where Eog Resources could really be going. So that's it. I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. If you all enjoyed it, drop me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure to join my Patreon if you want all my buys, sells, call-outs, morning update videos, plus more. That's linked down below. And don't forget to get your 5 stocks from Moomoo. It's free money, guys. Use my link down below. Deposit at least $100, and you could get up to 5 stocks, each of which could be valued up to $3,500. Again, free money. Get your money. Link down below. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.